Chosen one, pay close attention to every word, for this moment is not merely a pause in time, it is the turning point of destiny. Heaven and earth seem to hold their breath, watching your every move. Angels are waiting with unwavering eyes. Creation itself stands still. No one sees it, but a decision is rising within you, a choice understood only by the Most High. You may not yet realize the full weight of this step, but heaven knows, and when you act, the entire universe awakens. It is not because you have made him uncertain, but because you have finally awakened to your true identity. You are not ordinary. You were never born to blend into the crowd. Your very presence was designed before time itself began. Every step you take has been marked with divine purpose. You have walked through darkness, carrying wounds and burdens unseen by others. Yet instead of being crushed, you lifted your head and stood tall. And in the very moment you refused to give up, heaven fixed its gaze upon you. Do you realize how priceless this moment is? While millions continue living without ever awakening, you have felt the quiet call within your heart. You can no longer accept living under limitations and lies. You have rejected the false definitions of who you are. And in that very act of rejection, you have shaken the spiritual realm. The light Scripture speaks of, the light that shines in darkness, is alive within you. No matter how fierce the days have been, that light has never burned out. As you walk in obedience, you are not only changing yourself, you are clearing a path for those who will come after you. Every battle you have faced has led you to this moment. You thought you were forgotten, but heaven has been watching all along. And now, as you rise in your true identity, both heaven and earth respond. The old chains will no longer bind your generation. This is the beginning of something new, starting with you. Make sure you stay fully connected so you do not miss anything flowing from the heavenly realm into your life. This is not merely a moment where you hear a message, this is heaven's confirmation. And if your soul feels the stirring, leave the number 777 in the comments as a sacred declaration. That number is no coincidence. It is a sign of divine alignment, a moment when heaven itself paused for you. From this point on, nothing will remain the same. Now, O chosen soul, you are beginning to see the truth that has always lived within you. You are not the product of chaos or coincidence. You were formed with sacred intention in every detail. There is nothing in you that is meaningless. Every step you take is not just a journey, it is a declaration that you are living according to a divine purpose. There have been lies whispered into your ears, telling you that you are not enough, that you are a mistake. But those were nothing more than the last desperate efforts of darkness to keep you from stepping into the light of truth. And now, as you dare to rise, as you dare to believe in your worth, heaven rejoices because you have awakened to your true nature. How many times have you wondered why you are not like everyone else? Why you have always felt like a misfit? Those questions are not signs of weakness. They are the call of destiny. You were never created to blend in. You were created to stand out, to become a living signal in a silent world. Every wound, every betrayal, every disappointment you have endured was not an accident. They were the very tools shaping you into the strong, unshakable person heaven always envisioned. You have not been forgotten, you have been prepared. And when you embrace this truth, when you begin to live in alignment with your divine purpose, the entire universe responds. No more trembling, no more hesitation, only you, steady, strong, right on time. You have not been abandoned. Your name has not been erased from heaven's plan. You are not too broken to be restored. In fact, you are being remade, not as you once were, but better, deeper, carrying the mark of glory. And when you dare to say, "I am not a mistake," you shatter the final barrier darkness tried to build in your mind. Write this truth upon the tablet of your heart, because from that place, transformation begins. Your presence in this world is not the result of random chance. You are part of a carefully orchestrated plan. Not a single heartbeat of yours is without meaning. The world may not understand you, but heaven knows every tear you've cried, every hidden longing you've carried. And now, even you are beginning to see it. Every silent tear you have shed has never fallen into emptiness. None of them have been forgotten. Heaven has witnessed them all. When you cried in secret, when no one knew, when no one saw, heaven saw. When you asked questions without answers, when your prayers seemed to vanish into the dark, heaven recorded every word. Your tears were never a sign of weakness. They were seeds planted in faith. They carry an unextinguished hope, a longing to live in alignment with purpose. Those tears hold the prayers you could not put into words, the wounds words could never fully touch. Scripture reminds us in Psalm 56:8, "You have kept count of my tears, you have stored them in your bottle, you have recorded them in your book." This means nothing about you has been forgotten. Every sacrifice, every moment of silence, every time you persevered when quitting would have been easier, all of it has become evidence. Those tears are speaking now, bearing witness that you have not abandoned your faith. And now, if your heart is stirred, write these 4 simple words: Lord, I hear you. Because when you write them, you are giving language to what your heart has been crying out all along. You are saying, Lord, I know you have never taken your eyes off me. I believe the pain I have carried has never been meaningless. That is not just a whisper, it is a declaration of faith. And when you speak it from the depths of your soul, something begins to shift. You're no longer just surviving your wounds, you are becoming living proof of restoration. You are not merely surviving, you are living with purpose. Heaven is not only astonished that you are still standing, it is in awe that you have risen above what should have destroyed you. And now the tears you once hid have become undeniable evidence that you did not give up. You did not surrender, and you refused to let darkness define you. They are proof that you were always called to walk in the light, with strength, dignity, and a sacred mission. The tears you once thought were wasted have become the very foundation of unshakable faith. They have not been forgotten. They have been stored in the memory of heaven. And as you keep walking, the world will witness what heaven has always known. You are chosen. You cannot be stopped, not because you have never been wounded, but because you refuse to let the wounds stop you. You had every reason to give up, and no one would have blamed you. You carried enough pain to justify surrender, but instead, you rose. Not because you did not hurt, but because the light within you was stronger than the darkness around you. And that decision shook the heavens. The enemy thought you had reached the end, but your rising was what he never saw coming. Light does not ask for permission to shine. It breaks through regardless. When you said, "Enough," and chose not to let despair win, the light within you shattered the chains. As Proverbs 24:16 says, "Though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again." That is you. It was never about how many times you fell. What stunned heaven was that you chose to rise. You chose to rise as a way of living, a declaration to every force against you that you will not be easily broken. You believe that even in the ashes, flowers can still bloom. Every wound has made you stronger, not weaker. What once was a burden has become a stepping stone. What once was rejection has become the fire fueling your voice. And this rising proves one thing: you are not defined by what happened to you, but by what you choose to become. When you rise, you are declaring a profound truth. I am defined by divine purpose, not by the wounds I carry. That very conviction has shattered the barriers that once imprisoned your soul. And beyond that, it has brought freedom to those who once looked at you, but could not see themselves reflected in the light. You no longer walk as if apologizing for your existence. You no longer shrink back, afraid your light might make others uncomfortable. You have realized you are chosen, and now you begin to live like it. Make no mistake, this is not the end of the journey. This is only the beginning. You have stepped into a new position, not in terms of geography, but in spirit. Every time darkness tries to creep in, something within you will remember: you have risen. That is your new nature, unshakable, unstoppable. You chose to walk even while it still hurt. You chose to keep going when everything in you screamed to stop. And in that moment, you didn't just overcome, you rose above. Heaven is not surprised that there is a crown on your head. What astonishes heaven is that you finally believe it belongs to you. What was once a distant promise now stands before you, ready to be claimed. You once carried burdens not everyone could understand. The weight of feeling abandoned, overlooked, forgotten pressed heavily on you. But those days were not wasted. They were the stage being set for this moment. Your crown was not forged from metal. It was formed through perseverance, through faith in the midst of fear, through every tear you cried in silence that heaven counted and remembered. This is a crown not for those who run away, but for those who remain standing when the storms rise. Heaven has declared in Deuteronomy 28:13, "You are the head and not the tail, not because you were the strongest, but because you obeyed." And when you live in that truth, the crown cannot remain hidden. It is displayed, not for boasting, but as a reminder to others that light can still shine through lives that once seemed broken. So, if these words awaken something within you, hold on to them. Not out of habit, but as a confirmation that you know who you are. Share this, not for likes, but because it may be the very reminder someone else needs to finally rise. There is a holy alignment happening when you choose to answer the call within, a deep declaration that you accept the crown not as something you made for yourself, but as a gift from the highest power. When you say, "Yes, I receive this crown," you are not only shifting your own destiny, you are awakening other souls to step into the same light you have found. Heaven has marked the moment you realized your authority. This is no longer a dream, it is reality. Heaven and earth will witness this transformation. You are stepping into a space that was prepared for you from the very foundations of creation. Wear that crown with humility, yet with unwavering confidence, for you did not choose it. The Creator Himself knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. And for this reason, the songs of heaven rise, the hosts rejoice, and the throne itself acknowledges you. You, the chosen one, have overcome doubt, silenced the voices that called you weak, unworthy, destined to fall if you dared to rise. But now, as you commit, as you speak the truth of your heart, you establish an eternal mark. Prophetic moments are not empty forms or hollow rituals. They are the visible acts of faith, turning the unseen into reality. The enemy wanted to silence you, to weaken you. He understood that if you aligned yourself with this destiny, blessings would be unleashed, not only for you, but for countless others. But he has failed because you have awakened. You have recognized the path destiny drew for you. Now the promise resounds, as written by the Apostle to the Corinthians. No eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love him, and this is what now stands before you: blessings beyond sight, opportunities yet unrevealed, await to be released through your obedience. You, chosen one, do not let this moment pass you by. Heaven is opening doors you have never walked through. There is a table prepared where you have not yet sat, your name whispered in places you have not yet heard, all because you agreed. And now, to mark this commitment, write 444 in the comments. This number carries the meaning of solid foundations, divine order, and sacred alignment. Writing it is a prophetic declaration. Lord, I align myself with your order. I plant my life firmly upon the foundation you have laid. By writing 444, you are proclaiming that you are not merely a spectator, you are a participant in heaven's purpose. This declaration becomes a sacred seal, recorded in both the seen and the unseen, that you have chosen to stand with him, to wear the crown prepared for you since eternity past. As heaven records your decision, everything about your future begins to shift. It is no longer a path shrouded in uncertainty, but a road illuminated by purpose, by the presence of the one who has called you. With every step you take forward, let your soul sing, not with empty words, but with the anthem of one who knows their rightful place in the eternal kingdom. The promise is no longer something abstract. It is clear, specific, and intricately woven to align with the obedience you have chosen. The foundation you stand on is unshakable. It was laid by divine hands, and the blessings that are coming are not random rewards. They are the fruit of faithfulness, the result of the seasons when you refused to give up, even when no one was watching. Chosen one, you are not merely walking, you are stepping into a new chapter where the crown is no longer a symbol, but a calling. Commenting 444 is not a ritual. It is a living testimony that you agree with the divine order now at work in your life. You are declaring, I am ready. I will not surrender my position again. When you remain steadfast in the darkness, it makes all of hell tremble. Not because you have never been knocked down, but because you have always risen again. The enemy does not fear the strongest. He fears those who refuse to stop. Because every time you rise after being shattered, you proclaim that your identity does not come from circumstances, but from God. And no weapon can defeat someone who knows who they belong to. Remember those moments that felt like the end, when no one stood beside you, when silence surrounded you. That was not surrender. That was the moment you gathered your strength, preparing for the next rise. You did not quit, you were being equipped. Like Elijah standing before the false prophets on Mount Carmel, one voice in agreement with heaven can burn away every lie. And just like him, you do not need the crowd to win. You only need alignment with the one who chose you. And now, this may be the end of the video, but it is not the end for you. This is only a marker along the way. If your heart is echoing with what you have just heard, if you know deep down this is your reminder, leave 444 in the comments, not for the algorithm, but to mark this moment in your spiritual history. Like and share if you know someone else who needs this light. And if you have not yet subscribed, do not miss the divine reminders waiting for you ahead. The crown has been set, the light has shone, and the foundation stands firmer than ever. You are not only chosen, you are stepping into the time of promise.